Hello everyone, I am coming to you from the splash pad out here in Brockport. It was another scorcher, so I thought I'd bring the younger kids out to enjoy a little water fun before we retired to the house for the night. And I just wanted to come on and chat again. I mentioned the other day, I think I've done 2 videos now in regards to secret societies and if they are adulterous in their your participation if you're in those. And I've had a couple of conversations with people offline, and one of the things that I kind of wanted to make sure that I was making very clear is I'm not just referring to the D9. A lot of times people only want to focus their energy in this conversation on the D9, the Divine Nine, but it is not just the D9. It's them, it's Freemasonry, it's Eastern Stars, it's the Boule, sororities, fraternities, black sororities, white sororities and fraternities, white, black, Christian, non-Christian. Any organization that is adulterous in nature, it should really exit your life, right? So I wanted to make that crystal clear because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm picking on them or, stating my opinion on that. And I also wanted to make this other statement that it's not my opinion, right? It's not a debate between me and other people. It's a debate between Exodus 20 verses 3 through 6, Proverbs 14 and 12. It's not really a debate. It is what does the word say, right? So I think if we look at it like that, it doesn't necessarily turn into a personal attack. It doesn't turn into my opinion versus your opinion. It's just what does the word say. If we consult that, I think that it's really clear. So right quick, because I don't want to stay before you too long, I wanted to kind of parallel, because sometimes a visual analogy works better for people in their understanding, right? So I want to parallel, I want to show how it really kind of is adulterous in nature. If we go back to initiation ceremonies, right? Getting in, what you do to join your group, right? And I'm going to parallel between an initiation ceremony and a marriage ceremony. So in a marriage ceremony, you have an officiant, you have someone that is in charge, someone that ushers the whole ceremony. You have a bride, you have a groom. And one of the important things that happens in a wedding, you also have your bridal party. You have people that are there to support your union, what you're doing to support your ceremony, family, friends, bridal parties, whoever is there to watch and witness, right? Because there even comes a point in the ceremony where are there any witnesses that have something to say about this, right? You have the same thing in an initiation ceremony. You have someone that is in charge. They have a special title, whether it be a basilisk, a president, a grand wizard, or whoever that's in charge. They oversee. They have sergeants of arms. Different people have different jobs to usher this whole process in, right? In a wedding, you have a bride and a groom. In a initiation ceremony, you have the initiates, the participants, the pledges, right? Everybody has a title, but you see the parallel thus far, right? In a wedding, you say your vows. Do you, XYZ, take this XYZ person to be your lawfully wedded husband, wedded wife? And again, you say things, oaths. It's called oaths when you are, when we're speaking of the initiation ceremony. Those are oaths, pledges, vows, that you make to your organization in order to get in, to enter into the union of the organization. In a wedding, you make your vows between God and man. That's even part of it. You're saying it out loud. God hears you. Everybody in the room hears you, between God, God and man. Same thing in the initiation ceremony. You must speak things. You speak things in order to join. At a wedding, the wedding takes place, the bride and groom They stand at the altar. They stand at an altar. You're at an altar when you are participating in your intake ceremony. There's an altar present. You're there. Business, the entering in occurs at the altar. Same thing with a marriage. You're at the altar saying your vows before God and man, the witnesses that are there. You pledge your allegiance, you pledge your faith, your body, your life to your mate, right? To that union. You make pledges when you join your organization, right? And also, you sign something. In order to be legally married, before your ceremony, you had to have already gone down to your town, to your county office, and applied for a marriage license, right? They give you some paperwork. You had to prove you were you. Your spouse had to prove he was him. There's some steps. So then you go to your wedding ceremony, and the officiant, the preacher, whoever's in charge, they sign that paperwork. You, the bride, the groom, you sign. The officiant signs and dates. It gets mailed back to your government agency. And what do they send you in the mail? Your official marriage certificate. You are married. That's your legal proof that you are married, right? Same thing happens when you are in an initiation with any of these groups. You say things with your mouth. You make oaths, pledges with your mouth. You bow at an altar. You sign your name in a book. Afterwards, your paperwork is sent to your nationals, your headquarters. What do? They send you back a membership certificate, your name in bold letters, as your proof that you are now into their organization. It legally binds you to the organization. Your marriage license legally binds you to your spouse. And if y'all get mad and say, I'm done with him, I'm done with her, y'all can go your separate ways. But according to law, according to the government, you're still married, right? You're still in covenant. Even if you say, I don't like him no more, I'm done with him. You live over here, they live over there, they live in another state. You guys are no longer physically together, but you're still joined. You're still in covenant relationship, right? Because you made that vow before God and man. You signed. You made it official. And the only way for that marriage to no longer count is you have to have a divorce, which is a whole nother document, a whole nother set of things to break that covenant, right? So same thing when you join these organizations, you're in union with your organization. And even if you're no longer financial or you don't go to meetings anymore, oh, that was then, I don't do that anymore, I'm not a part of that anymore, you're still in covenant. You made vows with your mouth, right? You did things that brought you in covenant relationship with that organization. And in order to not be in it anymore, you have to renounce, you have to denounce, you have to break that covenant. That's all for today.